He deliberately tampered with the light fixtures at home, making sure that flipping the switch would create an electrical spark. Then he loosened the valve on one gas canister. But one didn't seem like enough, so he opened a second. Once everything was in place, Mike told his wife Anna he'd left his KFC in the kitchen and asked her to grab it for him. Anna didn't suspect a thing. The moment she turned to leave, Mike bolted out of the house. Completely unaware, Anna flicked on the light switch. In an instant, flames erupted, and both gas canisters exploded one after another. She died on the spot. Even though hundreds of people had gathered nearby, not a single person suspected Mike. To everyone around them, they were the picture-perfect couple. Mike was the breadwinner. Anna was always put together and glamorous. They lived in a beautiful home, drove luxury cars, and had 2 lovely children. Their life seemed nothing short of idyllic. But what no one realized was that it was all a facade. On the surface, Mike was a successful furniture store owner. But in reality, he only had that position because of his father-in-law's connections. Because of this, he had zero standing at home. Anna controlled everything. He had no voice, no presence, just existed in her shadow. Every decision, big or small, was made by Anna. She even dictated when he could eat his KFC. Everything had been running like clockwork, exactly as Anna had designed it. But then one day, an unexpected newcomer turned Mike's world upside down. The store was expanding, and Mike needed to hire a new employee. Shortly after posting the job listing, someone showed up to apply. The moment he laid eyes on her, Mike was captivated. She was strikingly beautiful, tall and slender, practically his dream woman. Even better, he could admire her in secret, a small escape from the frustrations he endured at home. What he didn't expect was that the very next day, this new employee would burst into his office, throw her arms around him, and excitedly announce she'd just closed a deal. Mike instinctively hugged her back, his heart racing. But he didn't dare cross any lines, and quickly let go. Mike assumed it was just innocent enthusiasm. He had no idea that Mary had orchestrated the whole thing. When she saw he didn't resist, she quietly locked the store door after closing time and kept him there. They embraced, and this time, Mike couldn't hold back. Things between them went further. From that moment on, Mike felt like he'd discovered a whole new world. He started working out on the sly and began meeting Mary behind Anna's back. On the 9th, when he was supposed to spend quality time with his wife, he was so exhausted that he collapsed into a deep sleep beside her. Anna didn't suspect a thing. In fact, she felt reassured and content. One day, the store threw a party, and all the employees gathered at Mike's house. Mary was there too, of course. Watching his wife chat with Mary at close range, Mike broke into a cold sweat, terrified their secret would slip out. And as fate would have it, the more he worried, the more likely things were to go wrong. When no one was looking, Mary cornered him. But this was his own home. One wrong move and Anna would catch them. Mike panicked and tried to back away. That's when Mary dropped the bomb. She was pregnant. The words hit him like a thunderbolt. Mike froze, his mind going blank. Desperate, he turned to his best friend John for help. John didn't mince words. This kind of problem could be solved with money. Just dip into his secret stash and pay Mary off. But reality wasn't so simple. Mike only had $6,000 saved up. Even with the $7,000 John scraped together, that was just $13,000. Hardly enough to make this go away. The next day, Mike worked up the courage to tell Mary his plan. Before he could even finish, she burst into tears, sobbing that she had no health insurance and the money wouldn't even cover the procedure. She spat out, "You bastard," and stormed out of the office without looking back. With no other options, Mike went back to John. He was stuck between a rock and a hard place. If he didn't give Mary enough money, she'd tell Anna everything. Mike sighed heavily, but then John had a flash of insight. Why not beat her to the punch? Tell Anna first, before Mary could use it against him. Take away her leverage entirely. They agreed on the plan, and Mike gathered the nerve to face Anna. He started with small talk, beating around the bush, then admitted he'd made a mistake and asked for forgiveness. When Anna demanded to know what he'd done, he stammered and couldn't get the words out. But under her relentless questioning, he finally confessed everything. Anna was furious, just as expected. But for the sake of their family, she swallowed her rage. After some discussion, she made up her mind. Mary had to be dealt with, permanently. Right on cue, Mary called. Anna signaled for Mike to answer and put it on speaker. She wanted to hear exactly what this woman had to say. Sure enough, $13,000 wasn't nearly enough for Mary. She raised her demand to $25,000. Anna made a snap decision. Play along. She had Mike agree to everything, planning to slip Mary poison when they met. That evening, Mary showed up as arranged. Before handing over the money, Mike suggested they share a drink to say goodbye. What Mary didn't know was that he'd already spiked the water with sedatives. Within minutes, she lost consciousness and passed out. The couple loaded her into the car and drove her back to their garage. Anna told Mike to find a hammer and finish her off while she was still out. But Mike, timid and cowardly as ever, froze up completely. He couldn't do it, so Anna took matters into her own hands. She wasn't just unafraid, she seemed almost thrilled. One swing of the hammer, and Mary was dead. After examining the body, Anna came to a conclusion. The woman had never been pregnant. Mike had been played from the very beginning. Anna ordered him to bury the body in the backyard, good fertilizer for the garden, and coldly informed him that from now on she would personally interview all new hires. The next day, the sheriff stopped by the store to ask questions. Had Mary come to work? Her car had been found burned out in the woods. Mike, relying on his friendship with the sheriff, managed to brush off the inquiry. But what he didn't know was that Mary had been part of a con operation, and he'd been their mark all along. After Mary disappeared, her accomplices quickly grew suspicious of Mike. That afternoon, they handed an envelope to Mike's son. Inside was a photo of his wife and a note. 2 o'clock, the bar. With no choice, Mike showed up at the bar and came face to face with Paul and his crew. At first, he tried to pin everything on Mary, claiming she'd taken the money and skipped town. But Paul wasn't stupid. He laid down an ultimatum: $20,000 by tomorrow, or Mike's entire family would pay the price. Mike didn't waste a second. The moment he left the bar, he told Anna everything Paul had said. To his surprise, she remained completely calm. If there was a problem, they'd solve it. One body wasn't enough, then they'd make it 3. That night, Mike and Anna snuck into Paul's place. While the house was empty, Anna hid Mary's body in the freezer while Mike kept watch outside. As luck would have it, Paul's brother stumbled home drunk and walked right into Anna. She didn't hesitate. She killed him on the spot. When Paul returned and found his brother's corpse, he was terrified. Anna had planned ahead. She'd already used a burner phone to tip off the police, reporting that Paul had committed murder and hidden a body. The cops swarmed the scene, but Paul was smart enough not to resist. He escaped through an underground tunnel. The next day, the sheriff found Mike and told him the real killer who murdered Mary was Paul. Mike breathed a sigh of relief and rushed to share the news with Anna, only for her to coldly warn him that if he ever made the same mistake again, he'd be next. Mike was paralyzed with fear. He'd seen what was in Anna's nightstand drawer: 3 knives, neatly arranged. A few days later, he set his plan in motion. He sabotaged the kitchen light and opened the gas valves, then lured Anna into the kitchen to fetch something for him. Completely unsuspecting, Anna hit the switch, and the gas ignited, killing her instantly. From that day on, Mike no longer lived in fear. But as he stepped out the door one morning, he realized someone was watching him. It was Paul, the one who had gotten away.